Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47 is the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. The Officer Tatum Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Officer Tatum Show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Stephen A. Smith makes an incredible comment, in my opinion, about Caitlin Clark. I have to give credit where credit is due. Dylan told me yesterday that the drone activity could have been possibly related to, what we call it, radiation, some radiation, active radiation devices that have been lost. And I said, you got to be crazy. I looked at him like he was a three-headed monster. I said, that don't make sense, man. I don't think it is. And lo and behold, Dylan was right. We're going to talk about that here in a second. The shooter update. Everybody thought that the shooter was trans. I thought it was trans because the police chief refused to identify the kid's gender and age, which was silly to me. I don't know why. Even as a former cop and a PIO, I don't know why you wouldn't just disclose that. You do it when it's a boy. Then also there's some more stuff that we're going to get to. George Floyd has come up again in his passing. Obviously, Chauvin is going to appeal the case, and they're going to now allow, or at least try to go for his heart tissue to see the status of his heart, because they're going to essentially try to determine that he had heart problems. That's how he died, and it had really nothing to do with the exhaustion of Chauvin's knee on the back of his neck or back of his shoulder. And I honestly think that Chauvin shouldn't do that much time in prison for the George Floyd thing. I do think he was wrong. I mean, you got to be as a cop, you got to be an idiot to do what he did. But we're going to get to all of that here in a second. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching the show. I really appreciate y'all's support. I want to give a special shout out to all our sponsors. We'll talk about them later in the show, but I'm just very appreciative that there are people who are willing to sponsor a conservative channel, and they've done a tremendous job helping us and blessing us with sponsorships and good merchandise, and it's something that I can provide to you guys. I like to say that right at the very beginning. Anything that I say on my channel or that's a sponsor of mine, it's like-minded companies that I think you will value being a part of or buying products from them. If it ain't something I think you would value and I don't believe in, I'm not promoting it because I don't need to. YouTube does good enough. But there are some things that I think are valuable. All right, let's get to it. Stephen A. Smith, Caitlin Clark, the controversy continues. I think that the controversy should continue because Caitlin Clark has all this attention, and it's a battle for the minds at this point. The minds on this side is saying Caitlin Clark should not capitulate to the foolery. I do understand why she's in the position that she's in, because she's getting pressured. And as a young woman without a lot of life experience and never growing up in a black neighborhood, you are beholden to the theology of disingenuous black people. And so I see why she's coming out with this approach. She want to be a leader. She got to make money. I get it. You get it. We all get it. But I don't like it because I think it's inappropriate. But Stephen A. Smith has something to say about it. And more and more I listen to Stephen A. Smith, the more and more I think he's going to be a Republican. He had an episode today, Am I a Republican? I didn't get a chance to watch it. I'm sure he said he's not a Republican because he cannot give up now, right? He got to keep saying he's a Democrat, hoping to God the Democrats change. They ain't never going to change. Roll the clip.
Caitlin Clark, all right? The Indiana Fever star was named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year earlier this week, and she took time to acknowledge that race played a role in her success this year. Here's a passage from the article in Times Magazine. Quote, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing, end quote. You see why I had no problem with her being Times Athlete of the Year? You see why I said that she should have been on Team USA? You see why I had to go off on the likes? Cheryl Swoops and others who were clearly distant and dismissive of her, no matter how much they try to deny it, there was resentment towards her. And here's why I said it was stupid. Because when she came into the WNBA, for 22 plus years, they had been flying commercial. They were begging for chartered flights. She arrives there, and 2 weeks later, they got chartered flights. She automatically.
And then let me interject real quick. This is why Caitlin Clark was a game changer. And it's not because she's white, ladies and gentlemen. There's a bunch of white girls that have played in the WNBA. The one girl that compared herself to Steph Curry, she said, I'm the Steph Curry of college basketball. And I wrote a comment on her page, and she got so mad at me. She was like, you a hater or something. And I'm like, no, you can't compare yourself to Steph Curry, right? You're not shooting a three over the top of dudes that's 6'7", 6'8". You're not, you ain't got the juice like Steph Curry. But anyway, so there's white women that have been in the league for a long time that are prominent in the league. Why none of those white women got the respect that Caitlin Clark has gotten? It's because it's not whether you're white or not. It's because are you good? And let me tell you the keys, the sauce recipe for Caitlin Clark real quick. It's simple. The girl has a little bit of femininity that goes a long way. So she's a looker, right? She played on a team that got a lot of hype because she had broken all these records. She was on Iowa's team that went to the national title. She played against a young lady, Angel Reese, and it was a you know, a good versus evil kind of thing. You know, she was the model. Angel Reese was kind of ghetto and gutter, and LSU was kind of gutter, and Iowa was a bunch of white girls that were all put together, and you know, so it was this controversy that conjured up. And also the advent of social media. Now you see clips online. Now you see her crossing people over and hitting threes. And that social media built this apparatus that made her larger than life. So people were interested in watching her go to the WNBA and do the same thing. And she has class and decorum. Those are things that people are attracted to. Somebody that has class, decorum, and skill sets, and that's feminized as a woman basketball player. She had everything to make the WNBA successful. And they weren't doing that good if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. The stadiums weren't filled up. Like he said, they were flying commercial. You may see one of them on your flight. It wasn't until the white girl came. And not because she's white. It's because her skill set. Roll the clip.
And instantaneously improved the conditions. Attendance is still lagging. WNBA is still losing money compared to what you would hope it would earn, but clearly things are on an upward trending trajectory. It's improving, and she has everything to do with it. Attendance for Indiana Fever games? Are you kidding me? WNBA draft, games on ABC, ESPN, television ratings. She's directly responsible. And people were resenting her for it, like she was the cause of the problems that they had for the lack of recognition. No, she just happened to be born white. That's it. Caitlin Clark hasn't spoken against anybody. She hasn't assisted in denying anybody else the privileges they deserve. If anything, she's tried to provide assistance. A rising tide lifts all boats. She's trying to be the rising tide that lifts the boats. And there were sisters resentful of her. Be resentful of the system. Be resentful of the folks, primarily the white folks, who basically disenfranchised y'all all of these years before she came along, who denied you the acclaim and the allure and the profits you richly deserved. But you don't take that out on Caitlin Clark, not her. She's the one that assists you. When black folks was marching during the civil rights era, and fighting every battle they possibly could, they weren't dismissive, nor did they assist in denigrating the white people who marched with them. They saved the venom for those who wouldn't. You don't run away from people who support you. You run to them, especially when they're in a better position than you to help you. But it still seems like people are slow rolling their way to a form of progressive thinking that enables them to appreciate the Caitlin Clarks of the world instead of resenting her. Which means, as always, no matter how far we've come, we still have a ways to go.
And let me add to that. It's the resentment that black people have for white people. It's just what it is. Like quit playing games. Like y'all quit lying. What happens is all these black girls were running the show, and you got a white girl that come along that's better. That is crazy. It's like if you were running track, and a white dude wins the 100-meter dash. Everybody's like, what? The black people are feeling some type of way because they look bad that the white boy beat them. That's just like if you were dancing, right? You at a club and you pop locking and doing this, and you know how y'all know how black people got rhythm and stuff like that. See, y'all didn't know I still had that. Black people got rhythm. If a white person outdance a black person, everybody looking at them like they're a three-headed monster. What are you doing, bro? How you gonna let a white? Think about this. Gospel artists. You go listen to a gospel artist, or you go to this day, you go listen to a soul, like a neo soul song, or somebody that sang jazz, somebody that raps. You would think it's a black person because traditionally black people did well in that. But when people find out it's a white person, black people have animosity towards that. White comedians, white athletes, white, you go down the list. White people dancing, white people rapping. You think Eminem is loved by the industry? No. You will make a black man so mad if you say Eminem the greatest rapper alive. Not all black men, but you will make a lot of black men mad. They'd be like, man, that white boy don't know how to rap. They ain't from the hood. You know what I'm saying? You get a white dude out there playing running back, like Christian McCaffrey. One, Scatterboo trash. But McCaffrey, one white guy, a white guy, remember Seahorn? Some of y'all old enough to know Jason Seahorn, the only white defensive back ever in the history of football to ever make the Pro Bowl, I think. He made maybe one or two people. But, you know what I'm saying? You let a white boy outdo you, then black people have a problem with that. I'm just telling you what it is. You don't have to believe me. I think we have a Time Magazine clip. Time Magazine podcaster. Let's play that clip real quick because it's associated, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. So roll that clip, Nick, when you have it available. And then we're going to get to that school shooter because I really want to talk about that situation because it was kind of weird. But roll the clip.
Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover?
Go back. Let me frame this real quick so you know what you're watching. This woman is the most racist woman on planet Earth. It is a shame that this woman said what she finna say. I just want to preface it. So if you're driving or if you're standing up, you might want to sit down. You may not want to run your car off the road listening to how racist this is. If this was a black athlete and there was a white woman talking like this, I would be equally as infuriated with it being 2024 and people still silly like this. Roll the clip.
Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that we have?
I'm curious to know who the other candidates were, but the fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special.
So after being named Time's Athlete of the Year, Caitlin Clark apologized for her white privilege and says the WNBA is built on black players.
It's great that she said that, but then the real honorable thing is don't take the award. Give the award to the person you believe deserve it.
I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition.
I want to know who had a better year than her. I think what she done was sensational. I think that she's getting backlash because she's white in a black person's sport, my personal opinion.
He the realest dude on that show. I ain't gonna even lie. Cameron be saying some crazy stuff, but he keep it real. That's exactly what it is. She's a white girl dominating a black sport. And the girl won Time Magazine and the first WNBA player to win Time Magazine because of statistical data points, ladies and gentlemen. When you join the WNBA and they have the most viewership ever, when they have when the Fever has stadium seats sold out in every game, and it never happened before. You got there. You have all the revenue and attention. They flying private. I mean, you're the face of the WNBA, and you're a rookie. When you can put numbers up like that, she made it to the All-Star game. She wasn't at the U.S. game, which they should have done. They probably saw. I didn't even watch it because she wasn't in the U.S. game. But she made it to the All-Star game as a rookie. She is revolutionizing basketball. That's why she was up there. Not because black women did the. Let me say this because Scott Jennings said this a while ago, and I thought he was on point with this. Scott Jennings was very clear. What league did these black women build, though? Like all this time, what have they been able to accomplish? A little bit of TV time, investor money, the NBA subsidizing. They've lost $50 million almost every year they play. What league is these black girls building? Caitlin Clark just feels sorry for them. It's not that she really think they built anything because they haven't built hardly anything. They've been struggling. Caitlin Clark the lady should have said they should have put Time Magazine WNBA Player of the Year, the NBA. Because if it had not been for the NBA, if it had not been for the NBA, the WNBA wouldn't be here. They say on the backs of the black women. No, on the backs of black men who play in the NBA. Because they're subsidized every year. Now, if these young black women was winning games, exciting, and they were profitable at 25 years later, I would say, it was on the back of them. No, it's on the back of the people who are donating, people who are subsidizing, sponsors. It's on their back that the league continues because the players aren't doing anything, clearly, because Caitlin Clark comes from college and she revolutionized basketball 25 years later. And she not even black. She revolutionizing the black sport, which is very hard to do for white people to really get over in a black sport, unfortunately. And y'all don't want to say it. I said it. I know what it is. You see a white guy doing what black people normally do. Black people get all offended. And I think white people used to feel the same way. I bet you $1 million when the first black man picked up that basketball and went dunking from the free throw line, white people were all in their feelings. when white people got dominated in these white dominant sports by black athletes, people that were making money didn't care, but the people that were playing were like, dang, we'll never see the field again. Anyway, let me play that clip of Scott Jennings real quick, just so you refresh your memory. Roll the clip.
Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Smart, truth, and factual.
A couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two, the attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player. The arenas were full when she played in them. The TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But, the league still lost like $40 million this year. And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something, what did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean, what did
possibly,
they build? What do you mean, what did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
The reason why it's still up and still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in this.
Isn't it because of the investors?
No, Scott, stop it. You stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickie's arena.
Who pays for it?
I was in Dickie's arena. Let me just tell you.
It says more about the people who are getting offended by it than her.
I think they're just disappointed that she appoints to have been captured by the woke mob.
You don't like the word.
And here's the disappointment.
It's the white privilege. Let him articulate this because I want to learn something.
I feel a little bad for her because she's going to learn that it will never be enough. No matter how much of the phrasing, no matter how much of the groveling you do, it will never be enough for the people in that league that hate her guts.
Why do you assume
they hate her guts?
Why do you assume that she is trying to pander? Isn't it also
because I hear the language? It's the language of the pander. I hear the phrase white privilege. Sports is the one place where nobody on the field has any privilege at all. She doesn't get extra points when she shoots because she's white. She gets the same number of points as anybody else. Sports is the great equalizer, and it just felt like to a lot of people that she was groveling for no reason because she is an amazing player who deserves all the accolades she's getting right now for doing what she's doing for women's basketball.
All right,
That's crazy to me. Scott Jennings just sound like he came from heaven or something. These people are so silly that him just speaking simple reality or speaking simply in reality and facts, that it just sounds so profound. What league are they really building? They've been losing money every year. Well, we think she went woke because she deserved all the accolades that she's getting. She's a tremendously great player. Her truth. It's not, I mean, if that's her lived experience, she's going to change her mind because it's never going to be enough. That's one thing. That's why you don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't pay ransoms because it's never going to be enough. As soon as you pay a ransom, they're going to want more money because they know you got money now. And then they're going to come and try to steal from you all the time because they know you're going to always pay up. So as soon as you capitulate, you wait till a young girl in the NBA that's a black girl gets hurt or a young lady in the NBA, something happens. They're going to look to Caitlin Clark to talk about it when it's probably not her concern and she don't agree with it. But she got to talk about it now because she's supposed to be advocating for the black woman. They just going to push her off a cliff. Let's go to another subject that I want to talk about is the Christian school shooting. I was supposed to talk about this yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to get to it. It was a crazy situation. The Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. It's called Madison, Wisconsin Preparatory School. I'm not going to say the person's name. The 15-year-old went into the school with a weapon. It was a 9mm, which debunks all the myths of AR-15, ban AR-15s. I mean, because if you ban AR-15, it wouldn't stop this one. Okay. All right, we can continue. They're still investigating. They have a manifesto online. I haven't read the manifesto. I don't really plan on giving it any credence, but allegedly this girl, maybe we'll put it up on the screen in post-production, but apparently this girl had a disdain for men. She was like an ultra feminist. And initially, the chief wouldn't say the gender or the age, and I thought that was very bizarre. I didn't know why he did that. That was foolish to me. I think it just created more controversy because people were thinking the person was trans. But if they're not trans, there's a raging leftist, almost in the same boat. But this person got wacky, said something in the manifesto relating to that they should destroy all men. Do we have that manifesto up? Maybe I can read it. But we can. She needs to destroy all men, all of the above, all of the crazy stuff that you hear these crazy feminists saying that just absolutely make no sense. I think they call the boys an incel. I think they call her a she-cell or something like that, or ma'am-cell or something like that, where women just hate men. And it's kind of bizarre that a 15-year-old has a worldview like this. Now, I always think in these situations like this that the parents need to be investigated. You got to investigate the parents. There's no way in the world that your parenting is not questionable if your 15-year-old's worldview is that she don't have life worth living and she needs to get a weapon to go into a school to inflict trauma on people. Why is your 15-year-old even in that arena mentally? That has to be something to do with the parents. I don't think my son, and if my son was feeling this way, now I could be wrong. He go and do something he ain't supposed to do. He better hope the cops get him before I do, because I'm gonna be the first one on his butt. But if my son go and do something like that, I think I would know that he's having problems. I don't think my son would go get a gun and go do that, and I don't have no idea. No, he was totally fine. We just had dinner yesterday. It's like you need to be in tune. You need to be in tune with your children. You need to be monitoring them and talking to them and conversing with them to a deeper degree where you know where their mind and heart is at. And a lot of times these things happen because we have lost the concept of structural family dynamics. These mamas need to be at home with these kids, and daddies need to get off there and go get a job. And y'all need to live below your means so that you can live an adequate life with support. When both parents are working on a job and slaving away, you don't have time for your kids. Your kid You drop them off at daycare and you pick them up at the end of the day, and you got stuff on your mind. They got stuff on their mind. They got homework. You know, you've been at work all day. You don't have time or energy to focus on your children's needs. You need to be in tune with them. They need you. They need you to hug them. They need you to tell them that you're proud of them and that you love them, and they need some guidance, not from little kids at a school that's overrun by teachers that don't get paid enough so they don't feel like being there. You got to be the person that's in tune with your children. I really pray that people start realizing that your career and your personal endeavors is not more important than your children. Now, if you don't have kids, chase the bag, honey. Go for the bag. Get as much money, much accolades and fame as you want to get. But when you have children, you got to structure your family to be conducive for the growth and development of your children until they get grown. Then you can go back and play. If my wife want to work on a job, she will work on a job when Bo is 18. And she can go back to work and do whatever she want to do. Right now, I need my wife to do her thing, and I need to do my thing to help us develop generational wealth and consistency over time. And I will put it on the line, lose sleep, lose years on my life to make sure I make that happen. And she's going to do the same to make sure our child is brought up correctly. And that includes my oldest son, too, who's 14. He just don't need as much attention as little Bobo do. But that's what we should be doing. And then when they 18 and they out of the house, my wife can go work at anywhere she want to work if that's what she want to do. But that's not what we should be doing when we have children, because they need to be raised right. Or they going to be at the school doing stuff and you don't have no idea. Like the Columbine kids. I remember when they down there mapping a plan out in the basement of their house. How they got a whole plan to do this in the basement? Daddy, you ain't going down there seeing what they doing? They been down there for 4 hours. What y'all doing down here? Yo, you planning on, where that belt? You planning on, I'm finna plan some on you. That's what should happen. We got some clips real quick. I don't want to play the testimony from the student. I want to play Kamala Harris' statement. So after this happens, they're not going to talk about mental health prominently. They're not going to address the advent of raging femininity or feminism that's literally destroying women as we speak. They're not going to talk about that. They're going to talk about guns. They're going to talk about guns. Roll the clip.
Good morning. Oh.
Hold on, stop. Nick, is she finna talk about this in this clip? After doing all that cackling? Roll the clip.
Oh, I just love seeing all of our young leaders. When I look out at all of you, I know and I feel so strongly the future of our country is bright. It is bright because of all of you. And I want to thank Lauren for her kind words and her commitment to your community, Lauren, and for the example you are setting. It is so good to see all of you. So, you know what? So let me start with just what has happened actually yesterday before I begin my other comments about the horrific shooting yesterday in Madison, Wisconsin. Of course, it's another school shooting, another community being torn about and torn apart by gun violence. And of course, our nation mourns for those who were killed, and we pray for the recovery of those who were injured and for the entire community. But look, as we hold our loved ones close this holiday season, we as a nation must renew our commitment to end the horror of gun violence, both mass shootings and everyday gun violence that touches so many communities in our nation.
That's why you didn't win. You so disingenuous. You on there cackling and laughing and then try to go to some statement that you think you have to make. Ma'am, you were in office for 4 years and y'all did nothing. Y'all want to ban AR-15s. Not one time did they say they want to ban handguns. And what happened in this situation? The kid brought a handgun. So what are you going to do? Y'all could have banned AR-15s. They just get handguns. What are y'all talking about? And she's so disingenuous because God is my witness. I have never seen it. Nick, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Audience, let me know in the comment section. Have you ever seen a scenario where Kamala Harris or any of these people give their condolences for a shootout in the inner city community. She didn't give her condolences of the illegal that ran and killed that 7-year-old, did she? No, she didn't. When did she give her condolences in the hood where people are getting shot every day and kids getting shot in the head in drive-by shootings, stray bullets? Where's her condolence then? Gun violence happened more frequently and often in inner city communities all over the country every single night. Over the weekend in Chicago, it's literally a war zone. More black people have died in the 20-year period that we were in Afghanistan fighting a war. More people have died in Chicago than they died in war in Afghanistan and Iraq. Not one time will they come on TV and say anything. They only say stuff on TV when it's mainstream and they can use it as propaganda to push banning weapons so they can control the populace more and more. That's just what it is. And she on there laughing. She didn't know what to say. Now, I'm not mad. Everybody can't be a dynamic speaker like me, right? I get it. Not everybody had a facial expression. Not everybody can be in touch with their emotions and be able to express what's in their mind outward. I get it. Everybody can't be like that. But don't be disingenuous when you are out there, because people can see right through it. And that lady, that's why she didn't win. But anyway, is the testimony of the young girl good enough for us to play or not? Or would it throw it off a little bit? Let's play the testimony since we got the clip. So this is a testimony from a young girl that was at the event. And she's going to articulate kind of what they saw. And this just is a contextual thing for educational purposes, not necessarily for any shock factor or anything like that. So we're going to play the clip of that young lady, and then we're going to go to another topic about the radioactive material that could have been possibly lost in New Jersey, and that's why we see all the drones. Roll this clip.
Tonight, I'm Dee Dee Gatton, and tonight the Madison, Wisconsin community is in mourning after a teacher and student were killed in a shooting at a Christian school. Police say the shooter also died. Let's get straight over to Jeff Harris at the live desk, and police just shared an update. Jeff, what are you learning?
Some new information just into the live desk, Dee Dee. We've now learned that the suspected shooter is 15-year-old Samantha Rupp, now who you see right here on the left-hand portion of your screen. A teacher and a student are now dead. 6 others were hurt. Police say she planned the attack in advance. Police are now combing through her family's home, already confirming they found a manifesto planning this crime. Police say a handgun was used in this shooting. A second-grade student was the first to call 911. Within minutes, police arrived and found the suspect dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now police are trying to trace that handgun.
I was getting ready for lunch, so it was basically lunch.
She's 8.
And then I just heard sobbing, and there was a teacher, and she was screaming like, "Ah, my leg, help, help."
Do you know that teacher well?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to hear that? Were you scared?
I was really scared, and I was really
Hold on a
sad.
second. Now, why would somebody put their kid on TV like this? This girl is 8. She literally got a SpongeBob ice cream in her hand. What is she doing regurgitating this after the fact on national television without dealing with counseling for the trauma she just was exposed to? What are people thinking? Like I probably shouldn't even play the clip, but they the ones put it on the internet, and somebody mama said it's a good idea for my 8-year-old to recount trauma that she's had in front of the world while she's twitching and eating a popsicle. I don't get it, man. What they want to do is try to sensationalize this situation by having this little girl talk about it. There was parents or teachers at the school too. They could have asked the teacher, but they want to ask a kid so that it seems so innocent, and which the situation was very unfortunate. But they want to exacerbate it by having a little kid on here describe this horrific event. This is uncalled for. I think they should be. It's wrong for them to do that. Now the parent had to give consent to do this, so the parent is wrong. But this goes back to my thing with the manifesto. What are your parents doing? And you see the girl in the picture doing all that, because I bet her parents are leftists. I bet they leftists. I could imagine that they leftists. Anyway, let's go on to the next topic. I was wrong, and I'm never wrong until I'm wrong. But Dylan, I got to give him all the credit in the world, because he said that there was a missing radioactive item potentially in New Jersey And that's the reason why the drones were flying over. And I thought he was crazy for saying, I didn't tell you yesterday, but I thought you was crazy a little bit. I said, wow, where did he get that from? Then I said, that does not seem plausible to me. It seems possible, but not plausible, given the fact that how could they lose something that's radioactive? They can't lose. They barely can lose a bag of cocaine when they get it off a suspect because there's what they call chain of command. That means when I get it, I got to sign off that I gave it to another person who has to sign off that they received it. They gave it to another person that put it in the evidence that you got to sign, and there's video evidence of all of that happening. But you telling me something radioactive is somehow then fell off a ship somewhere and got lost in the community before the inauguration. Now, I'm not Mr. Conspiracy himself, but I often wonder, is the government trying to do something else? How in the do you lose something radioactive? You get the thing and you give it to this person, and this person give it to this person. And hey, if the cargo container is damaged, you report that it's damaged, and immediately you document that this ended up doing this over here when it did this over there and over there. And somebody got to sign off with their job on the line that this is where these items are at. How do you lose something radioactive? Okay. Did I say chain of, I think I said chain of custody. Last I said chain of evidence. I don't know what I said. What did I say? They call it the chain of custody is what it is. But anyway, maybe I misspoke the word. I saw somebody's comment. So let me just see this real quick. The documentation is like chicken scratch to me. It says New Jersey hosts several significant ports that played a role in the commercial transport industry. On here it says the license report to the NJDEP on December the 3rd, 2024, that a GE68 pin source that they sent for. Do we have an article? Do we have a clip on this? Let me let the people talk about this, because I have no idea what EESARRAARP and all this other stuff mean. Roll the clip.
What do you know?
We know very little. About 6 days ago, there was an unprecedented briefing with every single mayor in the state of New Jersey, along with every member of our state legislature. We learned exactly at that time what the state knows, which was very little. Since then, information has not been forthcoming. And it's this lack of transparency, in my opinion, that's doing nothing but fueling conspiracy theories online.
Do you have any idea what it could be? Or which side it could be, where it's coming from?
Yeah, I can tell you what it's not. We know for a fact it's not little green men. And more than likely, it's not a foreign adversary, because they would be able to figure out how to turn off the blinking lights. These drones are huge. We had a mayor yesterday on the call with the White House telling them that he had 6-foot drones hovering over his house. Yet they continue to tell us we don't know what we're talking about. It's misidentification. Certainly, there's some misidentification probably going on, but I could assure you that we are seeing drones in New Jersey all over the place.
All right, so Bethany Frankel, I know she's not like, the New York Times, but she says that she has like some kind of contact at the Pentagon, and that it has something to do with radioactive material in New Jersey. What are you hearing?
So here's what I know. I know that we were told by our state police that we have assets over our critical infrastructure. Now, depending on your point of view, that's either concerning or comforting. I think it's comforting because it's probably us listening and watching. We also know that we have drones that are flying in a grid-like pattern. In my opinion, they're looking for something. What might they be looking for? Well, potentially, we're aware of a threat that came in through Port Newark. Maybe that's radioactive material. There was and there is an alert that's out right now that radioactive material in New Jersey has gone missing on December 2nd. It was a shipment. It arrived at its destination. The container was damaged and it was empty. So
okay,
potentially
wait,
we're looking
stop
for
right
that.
there, Mayor, because that's very important information. And that came from a credible source.
That came from the U.S. government.
And so it's missing?
Missing.
And they think it's in New Jersey, or it could be anywhere?
It was lost in New Jersey, in transit. And again, this is just an example of what I think that we're sniffing for. I think we do have the assets that can go up and fly around and sniff things, which is why we're not seeing the uptick we used to see in Belleville anymore. It's kind of moving, but we're seeing alerts that it's happening now in Pennsylvania.
And that's right at about the time that the drone sightings began, right?
Do we think that, hey, y'all think they're trying to do another pandemic? Just write in the comment section. Y'all think that's what they're doing? That sauce don't don't mix well to me. You guys had radioactive material, and this is what they say to us because they think we stupid. We need to get these people out of office. I swear, we need to just, I don't know what we got to do. We got to vote them out somehow. They think we stupid enough that they going to say the container was damaged and it's empty. What does that mean? Damage mean it fell off a truck and it busted open and all the stuff fell out? And it just fell out and the stuff flies away? It got wheels, it get up and it turn the engine on and drive down the street? Now, how is damage and missing go together? Is it damaged because somebody forced entry into the container and stole the stuff out of the container? Stuff don't just be missing in the container. Somebody removed it or it fell out of it. Somebody either broke into the container or it got damaged to it broke the container. One thing happened, somebody did it or something happened to it. None of it makes sense to me. Now it's something radioactive somehow lost somewhere. Who got it? Is a radioactive object or material, is it autonomous? Is it moving on its own? Does it have its own brain and it's walking around the streets of the United States of America and we're trying to find him? What does that mean? It fell off the truck right here. It's missing. It fell right here. It's on a container. It's not on a pickup truck. That means it's heavy or it's around heavy stuff. And it fell right there. It fell out the truck right here. That means it should be right here. And if it ain't right here, somebody got it. And if somebody got it, you probably want to tell people. I think to a certain degree that they trying to do some stuff, right? Dylan said it. He said he think, now what if? He said the what if. They're doing that to get, and it's something radioactive, and they're spreading across the United States of America. It started in New Jersey and went up through New York, now it's in Pennsylvania, and they're just running that thing, and people are going to start getting sick and feeling dizzy, and they're going to go to the hospital, and it's going to be a lockdown because they don't know where this radioactive device is at. And if they do that, we kicking they this time. We going to kick them right now. I didn't say it, but I'm thinking it. We gonna kick. We ain't playing with y'all this time. We ain't playing. I ain't playing. I don't know about you. Y'all playing. I ain't playing. I ain't doing this again. I'm not doing it again. I know my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go to heaven when I die. So y'all ain't finna have me locked in no house and tell me I can't do this and we gotta wear hazmat material. I swear to, if there is legitimately equipment that was mishandled, everybody should be fired that had anything to do with anything. The Department of Transportation, Booty Snitch, and all of them need to be investigated and fired. Nobody gonna keep their job. I don't care who you are. If something radioactive have gotten loose in the populace, everybody lose their job. Everybody. You will not come back to work. You didn't, big time. You didn't mess all of us over. You going to jail this time. Fauci and them over there playing with gain of function research, and y'all it got out of a lab, and now people sick and all this. You got to be held accountable. You gotta be held accountable. I don't want to hear nothing about an accident, nothing. You got to be held accountable. You got to go to jail. You got to get fired. Something got to happen to you this time. You can't just F up and mess the whole country up, got people locked out of their job. Heck no. They're going to put you on the line this time. Don't let me find y'all don't play with me. I'm done with it. I think America's done with this stuff. People need to lose everything if they can't manage a radioactive device or material or whatever. You can't manage that, you got to go. Never to see you again. I can't. I just can't. It just makes me upset. What's the other clip that we have? The GE68 line source. Do we have that photo? They got drones going around. And, man, I'm sick of these people, man. Are y'all sick of? I'm sick of these people. They gonna quit playing with us. They gonna quit playing with us.
This is potentially this is what the report said went missing. Something like this.
So something like this. What? Yeah. This little tube right here?
They can track that through the drones is what they're saying.
So if they can track this through the drones, either it's by GPS or it's because it's radioactive.
Yeah, radioactive. That would be
So this little thing right here, I don't know what scale that is. Is this a dumbbell set? What is this?
That's what they use.
Is this a pin?
That's what went missing.
There's no scale. Like, is that a cube? How big is that cube and how big is that cylinder? This right here to me look like this is the size of a 2-liter bottle. This right here look like it's the size of a smart water. And this look like a little bitty box that's the size of a Kleenex box. And this look like a little pin that you stick into something. I don't know, like you stick it in your arm or something. Now, to scale, maybe this thing is the size of a building, and this is because then it wouldn't be going missing. Somebody going to prison. Somebody going to jail. We tired of y'all. We tired of y'all. I ain't playing no more. Like, American people need to stand up. We sick of this. Y'all not finna be. Y'all already effing over our money. Y'all can't tell us where millions of dollars then went. Billions of dollars gone. That we can't tell you where it went. No, that ain't good enough. You can't tell me. Oh, y'all gone then. Everybody in government that had anything to do with money missing, gone. What do you mean? You can't just tell me you don't know where my money at. There's 350 million people. You don't know where our money at? It's lost. It's unaccounted for. All right, well, you got to lose your job. Y'all feel me on this? How are they still doing this and they ain't lost their job yet? You can't. No, man, I don't want to hear nothing. It's not a natural phenomenon. Y'all effing up. The budget, we haven't balanced the budget this year? Oh, y'all all got to go. Everybody in Congress, everybody in the Senate. Everybody in Congress got to go. Who's in office? The president of the United States, you got to go. You can't. 4 years done. You can't run for re-election. Ain't nowhere in the world we trillions of dollars in debt and we still going in debt. Oh, you came up and said that you're going to do this Build Back Better plan and you build back worse? Oh, you got to go. You ain't got no second term. No, you can't run for office no more. You made a promise you didn't deliver on. You can't come in. You can't run no more. It's like back in the day in the Bible when the prophet would give a false prophet, that person was not a prophet anymore. That's like when the prophet used to go or the priest used to go, the high priest used to go into the Holy of Holies and he wasn't living right. He would die right in that booth and they would have to drag him out. What happened to that concept? Bro, if you claim to be a prophet and your prophecies don't come true, you ain't a prophet no more. You claim to be the president and you're going to make these things happen and you don't do it because you just don't do it. And you lie to us, you can't run no more. You can't run for office no more. You're not eligible to be a political candidate. They should put you in that firing squad. But I would never do nothing like that. Anyway, I want y'all to watch this clip. Let me see. Let me go to George Floyd tissues. So George Floyd, so let me just read the script here. It's the former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin, who was involved in George Floyd's death during the arrest in May 25th of 2020. Chauvin was captured, obviously doing what he did for 9 minutes. U.S. District Judge Paul Magnuson on Monday granted a motion to inspect the evidence. The legal motion allowed George Floyd's heart tissue to be examined, and it would have been submitted by a Chauvin's defense team. The purpose of this motion is as follows: to establish whether pre-existing conditions such as heart disease or drug use contributed to George Floyd's death. Allowing further investigation into Floyd's heart tissue could provide medical experts with evidence to support claims of cardiac arrest due to underlying conditions. Now, we got a clip to go along with that. Pull that clip up. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not the smartest man on planet Earth. But I'm smart enough to know if you've been using drugs your whole life, your adult life, and you just did a speedball, you mix fentanyl and heroin or whatever, meth and fentanyl together, I don't care if you had the Apostle Paul on your neck. You gonna die. I don't care who you had on your neck. Jesus could be back there. You finna die. And you didn't get meth and fentanyl. People dying fentanyl just off fentanyl alone. You doing meth and fentanyl together? You ain't finna live past that. Chauvin did not do nothing. You were gonna die before you got to the jailhouse. Chauvin could have just looked at you and you'd have been dead, putting that in your body. You ain't got to be that smart to realize that something ain't right about that. So they're gonna go through that. Let me play the clip real quick. Roll the clip. We'll get to the next subject in a minute.
How are you getting through every day?
It's not easy. When I was in the former facility in Arizona, I at least had somewhat of a routine as far as having some type of a job there and doing some exercise and trying to maintain myself and attending a church service on Sunday afternoon, as well as reading books and other things that are offered there to try to improve oneself. But after last November, things were even more difficult. It's really a day-by-day, hour-by-hour process to survive nowadays.
Do you think about that? Why someone would want to kill you?
I'm sure there's tons of speculation out there as to why, and I'd like to know the answer myself, which I do not at this time. You know, there may be some information in the future that might.
All right, we gave him a little talk, but I'm no fan of Derek Chauvin. I want that to be very clear. And of course, my Jesus thing was a joke, right? If Jesus want to save you, he'll save you. Somebody like, you blaspheme against Jesus, it was a joke. You can't be that stupid. Anyway, when it comes down to Chauvin, I'm not a big fan of Chauvin either. I'm not a supporter of Chauvin. I would never raise money for Chauvin. I want nothing to do with Chauvin. The guy is a complete idiot. Now, was he directly the cause of George Floyd's death? Maybe not. Should he spend the rest of his life in prison? Probably not, because I think it was a weird situation that occurred. But he's an idiot. When you lay on him, when you kneel on a man like that, and he's crying and saying he can't breathe and all this other stuff, and you just do it for 9 minutes, and then he's dead, and he's peeing himself and passing out, and you still got your knee there, just being smug. You just an idiot. You didn't effed all of us up. All you could have did was got off his back. You got 2 people on his legs. He's in handcuffs on his chest. Chauvin, you can't be that stupid. Roll the man over to his side and play the game. Man, I wasn't even that experienced of a cop. I was on for 6.5 years. Man, I knew better than to do something that stupid. I knew that you got to play the game, man. I'm arresting somebody and they say, oh, I'm having a seizure, I got a heart attack, man. I'm going to get on the air and call for meds and say this guy is claiming he's having a heart attack. Obviously, I'm going to say it a lot more professional than that. I'm going to say suspect is claiming of a medical emergency. He's alert and breathing. Can you send units out to check on him? I know he's full of sugar, honey, iced tea. He's an idiot. He's finna go straight to jail after I finish doing this rigmarole. And they're going to come out and slap him because the fire department don't have no internal affairs or no body-worn camera. So after they slap him and call him stupid and hope he die, then I'm going to take him to the jail as like a professional. I've been in these situations before. I had one of the craziest criminals that abused kids in my custody. He spit on my uniform, and I wanted to take him on to Jesus. Now, I don't know if he was going to stay with Jesus, but he was going to go meet him, and he probably going to go down under. But he spit on my uniform, bro. I felt so disrespected. I wanted to just beat him up and quit my job. But I was a professional because all these other people around here depending on B. Tatum to have his composure. And then the dude faked a seizure in the back of my patrol car. Now, I knew he wasn't having a seizure. Everybody knew he wasn't having a seizure. Stevie Wonder can see he wasn't having a seizure. But you know what I did? Because I want to save face, because I'm smart and I'm going to cover my own butt. Send the fire department out here. He's having a medical emergency. He's claiming he's having a seizure. They came out there. They were the most disrespectful that I've ever seen, and I loved it because we can't do it. So the fire department can do it if they want to. And they called him all kind of names, telling me stupid and quit wasting their time, and they left. He's cleared. Fire department cleared him. I'm not a medical expert. He's cleared. Get in the back of the car. We finna go to jail. I really want to take you outside this car and beat you to death for what you did to them kids. But I'm not going to do that because I'm a professional. And I got kids at home. I got to feed them and I got to see them. I'm not finna go to jail for you. I can't care more about your life than you do. So you going to prison. Dropped him off. He doing the rest of his life in prison right now. It ain't that hard, bro. I done had plenty of situations as cops like that. I remember this guy was experiencing excited delirium, and I was doing one of them pressure points on his shin bone, where some of y'all know, you put the baton through the shin, you cross the legs, and you sit on his back, and you put them legs up like that. And when you put them legs up, that shin bone will break. And I was running that thing on his shin because he was out of control, and I felt his shin flexing. And I'm like, he ain't even responding to this. And I'm not finna break this guy's shin. Maybe he's having excited delirium, because no human being can withstand you running that baton across their shin with their legs crossed. Not one person. I will pay you $10,000 if you can take me running a baton across your shin. It won't happen. I said he's experiencing excited delirium. I'm not finna break this dude's leg in half and end up in jail. So let's roll him on inside and put him in a recovery position, and let's get on the radio and say, we believe that the suspect is experiencing excited delirium. Can you send meds 1084, 1018? He was experiencing excited delirium. He would be dead right now if I'd have kept running across his shin, and I'd be facing charges. But I'm smarter than Chauvin, ignorant butt. So I don't got nothing to say about him. I hope he got what he deserved, even if he didn't do it. You can't do nothing like that. You silly as a mud. You done messed everybody up, man. We in war with each other because this one cop want to be super cop or something, whatever he doing. Running, man, I'd have whooped. I bet everybody's mad at Chauvin because he got the young boys put in jail. So not only Chauvin go to jail, he got the kid that was on the legs in jail. And the guy that was standing there trying to block the crowd, he went to jail. Mom, you got 3 people went to jail because you silly. All you had to do is roll crackhead Floyd on his side. And you would have been good. Even if he died, you would have been good. Because you gave an effort to mitigate his death by putting him in a recovery position. He can't get up. He can't get up. He got handcuffs like this. He high on drugs. You know he high. You know he high. I knew he was high when I saw him. And I wasn't even there. And then watch him act a fool. And all these people screaming, that's what they do. You can't take it personal. This is what they do. Let them do what they do. Roll him on the side, let him gargle and do all that other stuff. And then you call meds, and then he die on the scene. You say, I tried. I rolled him in a recovery position. I tried to help him. And then when he die, act like you care. You don't care. You probably don't. Many of us are desensitized to these fools. So we may not really care that much. But you got to act like you care. Get on him and do some CPR. Staying alive, staying alive. I stay alive. That's the rhythm. Just so y'all know, when you do CPR, that's the rhythm you got to do. That's what you got. Just do it like this, man. You ain't got, just think about, your favorite R&B singer or something, and just pump his chest. Act like think about playing video games or something. Just do what you got to do, bro. Everybody watching you on TV is 2020 something. But instead, Chauvin wanted to be, I don't know what he wanted to be. FTO of the year or something. Man, the man dead, and he got a statue and all kind of stuff. Crackhead Floyd then turned into a martyr. All right, let's go to the next segment. I'm gonna play the clip of. I think I'm running out of time. Yeah, I'm running out of time. I got we'll do these 2 tomorrow. We're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers and this crazy clip of cis hetero male icon. The fool said conservatives are gay and Trump is gay and cigars are gay. See, you messed up when you said cigars. You could have said Trump and everybody, but you said cigars, you didn't mess up. Now I got to talk about you tomorrow. I want to give a shout out to a few things real quick. Bring up prison fellowship, and that's it. Let's just do prison fellowship. Oh, I want to talk about Candace. I'm finna talk about Candace real quick. Let me talk about this real quick. So y'all stay tuned. Don't leave yet. I have to talk about this real quick. So there's an organization. I don't know what the specific name of the organization is. The logo is called Stop Anti-Semitism. And they selected Candace Owens as the anti-Semite of the year. Can Can I say what I really feel about this? Am I okay to say what I really feel? Y'all comment in the comment section. Can I say what I feel? Nick, pull this thing up. Let me say this real quick. I don't always agree with some of the things that Candace Owens says when it comes to Israel. Some things we agree and we disagree on. But y'all, Jewish people that think that Candace is an anti-Semite, what are y'all doing? Candace shared this on her story, and I texted her and I said, girl, you crazy. I thought she did this being funny. Somebody really tried to give her an award for being an anti-Semite. And then they used, it's a video. In their award video, they used content that's not anti-Semitic. Like, can I help y'all real quick? If you think Candace is wrong, how about you debate her and not call her anti-Semite? How about you prove her wrong? Because I have not seen one person, somebody help me, send me the video clip. I have not seen one person that proved Candace wrong on some of the things she say. I ain't seen nobody prove her wrong. I see people arguing with her. I see people calling her anti-Semite, but I don't see anybody proving her wrong. Now, of course, me and her disagree on the kids dying in Gaza. I mean, I see her compassion and sympathy. My sympathy I don't have that same sympathy for these people. I just don't. I love you. I hope the best for you. But, bro, if you going to come over and attack somebody, you didn't put all your people in jeopardy. And whatever happened to your people is what's going to happen to your people if Israel decides that they're going to eliminate Hamas. If y'all want to hide behind your citizens, that's on y'all. That ain't got nothing to do with Israel. Now, do IDF soldiers do things they're not supposed to? I guarantee you they did. I bet some of them out there doing stuff they ain't supposed to do. Is that indicative of IDF? I disagree. But they probably are doing what they American soldiers be doing the same thing, raping people and doing all kinds of stuff. Individuals do dirt. Israel is not exempt. But if somebody were to take my son and take him in their house, kidnap him, just say they came in my house, they hurt my wife and my other son, and they kidnapped my smallest son, and they took him in their house because they got a beef with me. Well, look, man, I'm going to give you one chance to bring my son out and put him on the porch right here. Because if I have to go in and get him, it's all bets off, brother. All bets off. No, ain't no backing down, ain't no crying, ain't no doing nothing. If I got to go and get him, this is my baby. I love him more than I love any of your kids. If I got to go in the house and get him, that's on you. The first person at the door gonna take a few. I don't care who it is. They be your grandma. Grandma shouldn't have been at the door. You had no business to put my kid in the house. You could have brought him out to the porch when I asked you to, but you want to play. Grandma gonna take a few at the door. I hope she got life insurance. And I'm gonna go through until I get him and take him in my custody. And if people get hurt, that's on you. You did that to them, not me. That's just my stance on it. Some people think differently. Don't play with people, family, and lives and play with their country. Let me say this. I get it. I know that Palestinians have an argument, right? They believe that the land belongs to them. I disagree with that. Clearly, the land belonged to the Jews way before them. But they feel some type of way. Fine. I'm not arguing with you. Maybe you do feel that way. But there was a war that was fought, and y'all lost. And then, it's okay. You want to combat the genocide and the occupation from Israelis and Jews? Okay, you elected Hamas to do that, right or wrong. That's what their objective is, and they did it. They tried, and there's consequences, and you're reaping the consequences. And they didn't have to do none of that. Everybody could have been under rubble. They put leaflets out there. They gave notice. They did all this stuff to help y'all, and y'all out here playing. So me and Candace may differ on that because I don't feel sorry for them as much. That's between them and God. Do your thing, Israel. It's your country. What are we talking about? They had Gaza. They have opportunities to do the right thing. What are they doing? They doing terrorism. They should be building the country. Hamas didn't trick these people, taking their resources, building tunnels instead of building the people, and y'all mad at Israel. Okay. But let me get back to the subject at hand. Y'all ain't one time set up a debate to dismantle anything Candace is saying. And let me just play this real quick, because I'm just going to play it real quick and I'm going to get up off here. I've been on here long enough. No audio. It's no audio. So I'm just going to play it. Y'all can't hear it. Let me mute this right here so it don't, no feedback. I'm going to play this clip real quick. So they go through and they do some little scenarios, right? This is what they saying. They got Candace Owens when she was talking about Hitler. If you watch the clip, Candace Owens did not at any point glorify Hitler. Now, what she said could be misconstrued, but that's not what her intent was. I know Candace. I knew it when she said it. If you listen to the full clip in context, it's not in any way or form or fashion supporting Hitler. And this is what all y'all got. All y'all got is this. They go on to talk about your boy Kanye. Kanye wrote a tweet, and this is what they tripping on, the tweet. Now, Kanye, if you know Kanye and you know how he talk, some of the stuff he says is tongue-in-cheek. Now, he say, Jewish people, in quotes. If you listen to the totality of what Kanye said, he said a bunch of stupid stuff, but also he have made clear the context in which he's expressing some of these things. He said in many contexts that he's not talking about all Jews. If you listen to the totality of his work, he does say in snapshots stupid stuff sometimes. But to think that Candace Owens have to come out against him because something that he said out of context, y'all ain't got a point here. People may believe that Candace says things that they disagree with, but it's not a sin and it's not anti-Semitic to question Jews. It's not. Only time I think it gets anti-Semitic is if a person go on and say, you do this and this because you're Jew. But if Jewish people are doing stuff that they ain't supposed to do, just like any other group of people in the world, what's the problem with calling them out on it? What's the problem of having healthy suspicion? I feel the same way about what's the ship, the USS Liberty. I personally think that it was an accident. I personally think that it was a miscommunication and it was an accident. They atoned for their sins. But if a person questions whether it's an accident or not, that's not anti-Semitism. Because you got people that were on the USS Liberty that are saying that it wasn't an accident and it was targeted by Jews or Israel. What's the point in calling somebody anti-Semitic just because they question things, just because they disagree? That's why me and Candace don't have no beef. We see things a little different, but I don't research all the stuff she say. So I can't really argue with her, to be honest. I just know we agree to disagree on certain things, but I can't argue with her. And then some of the stuff she say, I may not agree with, but she has the freedom to speak that. And she has the freedom to question it. She has a freedom to, and so does Kanye West. He has a freedom to question Jewish behavior. I don't understand how people think that Jews are somehow exempt from critique. Jewish people historically, Jewish people have done some stuff that have been shady. Just like African people, just like Muslim people, just like Christian people. Everybody be doing stuff they ain't supposed to be doing at some point. Does that mean every Jew is bad? No. Does that mean every Christian is bad? No. Does that mean every Muslim is bad? No. But man, some of y'all be doing dirt. And if people question your dirt, they don't make them anti-Semitic. They don't make them Islamophobic. They don't make them homophobic. That just means they have a question. And if you believe that they're wrong, how about you dismantle them or debate them and give them the truth instead of call them anti-Semitic? That's why, I'm all for Candace saying what she got to say. And if you disagree, then dismantle what she's saying. Why y'all just saying anti-Semitic stuff? Because what you do is you make anti-Semitism what racism is. If you say everybody's anti-Semitic or everybody's racist, then racism has no power. Reserve that for people who are actually openly racist. Reserve that for people who are actually openly anti-Semitic. I think openly Dan Bilzerian is an anti-Semite. He literally said the world would be a better place without Jews. He literally said this. The guy said it. I saw him. I watched the interview with him and Patrick Bet-David. That dude hates Jews for the simple fact of them being Jews, in my opinion, based on what he said. Now, save that word for him, in my opinion. And if you think Candace has done it, put a clip on here of her actually being anti-Semitic. Not putting a clip on here of y'all glossing over stuff and she's just having questions about stuff and investigating stuff as an investigative journalist that she is. All right. I think I said enough. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from